The news broke late last night, and social media has been exploding ever since. Kirk Frost, the reality TV figure whose love life has kept fans glued to their screens for years, has dropped a bombshell. He is reportedly engaged to Jasmine Washington. Fans are shocked, whispering, and tweeting non-stop about the sudden announcement. But the most dramatic moment? Rasheeda, Kirk's longtime partner and the woman many believed would be his forever, was reportedly left in tears when she heard the news. Sources claim the emotions ran high, and the scene was nothing short of a television-worthy meltdown. Eyewitnesses describe Rasheeda's heartbreak as palpable, her friends attempting to console her while she struggled to process the betrayal. Meanwhile, Kirk seemed unusually composed, posting a cryptic message hinting at a new chapter in his life. But the family was left divided, some supporting his decision, others outraged, questioning how he could move on so quickly. The tension doesn't stop there. Insiders reveal that the announcement came during what was supposed to be a celebratory family gathering, turning joy into chaos in mere minutes. Fans are now debating the motives behind Kirk's sudden engagement. Is this a genuine leap of love, or a calculated move to shock the reality TV world? And what about Jasmine? How did she react to the media storm surrounding her new relationship? Every social media post, every comment, every whispered conversation is being dissected, leaving fans desperate for answers. Emotions ran high across the board, and the ripple effects are still unfolding. By the time you hear the full story, you won't believe the twists and turns that have already begun. This is not just a breakup or a wedding announcement, it's a drama-filled saga that has left everyone talking, and no one is walking away unscathed. The tension was palpable the moment Kirk stepped into the room that had been buzzing with anticipation for what was supposed to be a quiet family dinner. He looked different, somehow calm yet purposeful, as if he knew exactly how much chaos he was about to unleash. Jasmine Washington sat beside him smiling nervously, her fingers playing with the edge of her napkin, trying to appear composed, but her eyes betrayed her excitement and anxiety. Rasheeda, oblivious at first, chatted with a cousin, laughing at a joke that now seems almost cruel in retrospect. Then Kirk cleared his throat, and the laughter died instantly. "I have something to share," he began, voice steady but with a sharpness that cut through the room like a knife. The words that followed shattered the air. "Jasmine and I are engaged." The silence was deafening, broken only by the subtle gasp of a few family members and the faint clink of a fork dropped on a plate. Rasheeda's smile faltered. Her hand froze midair, the wine glass slipping from her fingers, spilling red across the white tablecloth. The room collectively held its breath. Emotions ran high, shock rippling across faces, some frozen in disbelief, others whispering frantically to one another, trying to make sense of the announcement. "Engaged?" Rasheeda's voice cracked like breaking glass. She looked at Kirk, disbelief painting every inch of her expression. "After everything we've been through, after everything I've done for you?" The words spilled out, raw, unfiltered. The room seemed to shrink around her, her body trembling as tears welled up. Kirk reached for her hand, but she recoiled, the gesture lost on her. Jasmine's smile wavered, a flicker of guilt passing through her expression. "Rasheeda, I didn't mean for it to hurt you," Kirk said, voice calm but firm, each word striking her like a dart. He had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in his mind, but nothing could have prepared him for the intensity of her reaction. She shook her head, shoulders heaving, eyes glistening with tears. "Hurt me? Kirk, you've humiliated me. In front of everyone? You've made a mockery of what we had." The accusation hung in the air, the weight of betrayal pressing down on everyone present. Family members exchanged uneasy glances, some murmuring in hushed tones, others clearly siding with Rasheeda in silent condemnation. Jasmine tried to speak, her voice soft and tentative. "Rasheeda, please, this isn't personal. Kirk and we care about each other. I never wanted to come between you two," but Rasheeda's glare was sharp enough to cut through steel. "Care about each other? You knew him for months." "Months, Kirk, how could you?" The questions weren't aimed at Jasmine alone. Kirk flinched, a slight hitch in his chest, realizing that the confrontation was far from over. The family was divided, whispers escalating into heated debates, everyone picking sides, the air thick with tension. One cousin leaned forward, trying to mediate. "Rasheeda, maybe we should all calm down and hear Kirk out. This isn't easy for anyone." But Rasheeda shook her head violently, her voice rising. "Hear him out? No, I've been hearing out his excuses for years. And now he just drops this bomb? After everything I've sacrificed?" Kirk's jaw tightened, eyes narrowing slightly, frustration mingling with regret. He tried again, voice steadier now. "I didn't plan for this to be public like this, but my feelings for Jasmine are real. We both want to move forward together." The tension escalated further when another family member interjected, trying to defend Kirk. "Look, Rasheeda, maybe it's not the timing you wanted, but he's making his choice. He's an adult, we all have to respect that." But Rasheeda shook her head, tears spilling freely now. "Respect? What about respect for me? For our history?" Her voice cracked, shaking with the force of her pain. She pushed back her chair abruptly, the scrape of metal echoing in the tense silence. Everyone turned toward her, witnessing the raw display of heartbreak. Fans had already taken to social media once the news leaked. Live streams began popping up, reactions flooding in, and hashtags started trending. Emotions ran high not just in the room but across the world as viewers debated, defended, and condemned the choices being made. Some fans were sympathetic to Rasheeda, praising her strength and calling Kirk's actions cruel. Others argued that people grow and move on, applauding Kirk's courage to follow his heart. The storm wasn't confined to the family anymore, it had spilled into the court of public opinion, amplifying every hurt and betrayal, leaving no room for quiet reflection. The argument escalated further as Rasheeda confronted Kirk directly, pointing a trembling finger at him. "You promised me, Kirk. You swore there was no one else. How do you justify this? How do you wake up every morning pretending nothing happened?" Kirk's voice rose, surprisingly controlled. "I never lied about my feelings. Feelings change. Life moves on. Jasmine makes me happy. I can't deny that." The words cut deep, slicing through any remnants of calm. Jasmine reached for Kirk's hand again, this time more assertively, intertwining her fingers with his, a silent show of unity that made Rasheeda flinch. Friends who were present tried to intervene, hoping to soothe the tension. Whispers of concern, hurried attempts at consolation, even gentle touches on the shoulder, but Rasheeda recoiled from every gesture. She stormed out of the room, leaving a trail of broken silence behind her. Kirk followed, partly to calm her, partly to assert his stance, while Jasmine remained seated, heart racing, silently wondering if she had just stepped into a war zone disguised as love. The family watched, divided, unsure whether to chase after her or support Kirk's decision. The situation spiraled further when texts and calls started flying, rumors spreading among friends, and private messages leaked to the public. The family dynamic shifted in real time, alliances forming and breaking as every person tried to navigate the chaos. Some whispered that the engagement was planned weeks ago, others speculated it had been a sudden decision sparked by a single conversation. Tensions ran high, emotions raw, leaving everyone, inside and outside the room, on edge, waiting for the next explosive revelation that was sure to come. As Rasheeda drove away from the house, tears streaming down her face, she replayed every moment in her mind, each memory twisting into sharper pain. The betrayal felt like a physical blow, each beat of her heart pounding with disbelief. Friends tried to call, text, even video chat, but she couldn't bring herself to respond. Every notification felt like a reminder that the world was already talking about her heartbreak while she sat trapped in silence. Meanwhile, Kirk and Jasmine returned inside, trying to salvage what little composure remained. Kirk ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident, while Jasmine sat quietly, staring at the table, trying to absorb the gravity of the scene they had left behind. The family gathered in hushed clusters, whispers mixing with suppressed anger and confusion. One uncle muttered under his breath, "This is beyond disrespectful." Publicly announcing an engagement while Rasheeda is still here, in the same room, it's unreal. Another cousin nodded, "He's always done what he wants, but this crosses a line." Emotions ran high as people debated what should have been done, whose side to take, how to mend the irreparable damage now hanging thickly in the air. Fans online dissected every frame of leaked videos, captions, and photos. Each emoji, each comment became ammunition in an unfolding battle of sympathy and judgment. Hours later, Rasheeda's close friends finally convinced her to return, hoping a conversation could bring some clarity. She entered cautiously, eyes still red, heart still raw. Kirk stood, hesitant, unsure whether to approach or maintain distance. Jasmine followed, trying to offer a polite smile, but the tension between the three was electric. "Rasheeda," Kirk began, voice low, almost pleading, "I want you to understand. This isn't about hurting you. It's about honesty. My feelings have changed, and I can't ignore them." Rasheeda's gaze was fierce, her voice shaking. "Honesty? Honesty is telling me before you make a spectacle of my pain. Honesty is respect, Kirk. Do you even know what that word means?" Jasmine tried again, softer this time. "Rasheeda, I never wanted to come between you. This isn't a game. I care about Kirk, but I also care about the hurt this causes you. Please believe me when I say it wasn't intentional." Rasheeda laughed bitterly, a sound edged with pain. "Care? Care doesn't humiliate. Care doesn't make a world watch as your life is ripped apart in seconds." Emotions ran high, voices trembling, as the room seemed to shrink around the intensity of the confrontation. Family members stood frozen, unsure whether to intervene or allow the raw exchange to continue. The argument escalated when a cousin, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. "Rasheeda, maybe you need to hear Kirk out. He's making a choice, and as much as it hurts, you have to accept that." Rasheeda whirled, pointing sharply. "Accept? I am not accepting betrayal. I am not accepting that a person I loved and trusted could just decide to erase our history for someone else." Her tears flowed freely now, each word punctuated by heartbreak. Kirk's jaw tightened, his composure slipping as he attempted to defend his actions. "I am not erasing anything. Our past was real, Rasheeda. But life moves forward, and I have to follow my heart." Jasmine reached for Kirk again, holding his hand as a shield, a silent declaration that they were united. Rasheeda's gaze followed, a mixture of anguish and fury flashing across her features. Shield? You need a shield to announce love? You need someone else holding your hand while you destroy me? She shouted, voice echoing off the walls. The family was left divided, some shocked at the confrontation, others whispering about loyalty and betrayal, trying to make sense of the chaos. Emotions ran high, tempers flared, and every breath seemed to vibrate with tension. The drama spilled beyond the walls of the home as fans speculated endlessly online. Tweets, posts, and live reactions poured in, each one amplifying the intensity. Hashtags started trending, debates raging over whose side was right, who was wronged, who had the moral high ground. The family's private turmoil had become public spectacle, leaving everyone involved acutely aware that their every word and action was being scrutinized. Emotions ran high not just in the room, but in every comment, every share, every opinion formed in real time. Later, as the night settled, Rasheeda remained restless, pacing, unable to find peace. Kirk and Jasmine retreated to a corner, whispering about their plans, trying to navigate the fallout they had unleashed. Friends tried to interject advice, cautioning them about public perception, but it was clear the night had changed everything. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the unexpected twist of an engagement revealed in such a public, charged environment had left scars that no amount of explanation could smooth over. Just when it seemed the evening might settle into uneasy silence, a new revelation arrived. A family member revealed that private messages between Kirk and Jasmine had been circulating, messages that showed months of secret communication, long before the engagement announcement. Emotions ran higher than ever, shock mingling with betrayal, as whispers spread throughout the room and eventually leaked online. Fans were now questioning the timeline, debating who knew what, and whether Kirk's decision had been sudden or premeditated. The stakes had just risen, the drama intensifying, leaving everyone, inside and outside the family, on edge, desperate to see what would unfold next. The tension carried into the next morning, the aftermath of the previous night still echoing in every conversation, every glance. Rasheeda woke to an onslaught of notifications, texts, and social media alerts. Each buzz on her phone was a reminder of Kirk's announcement, of Jasmine's presence in her life, and of the public spectacle her heartbreak had become. She scrolled through the comments, reading fans debating, sympathizing, and even criticizing. Some messages were supportive, calling her strong and resilient, others cruel, suggesting she had somehow failed to keep Kirk's heart. The emotions ran high, each scroll twisting the knife of betrayal deeper. Kirk, on the other hand, seemed to navigate the morning with surprising composure, posting on social media with carefully curated captions hinting at a new beginning, while Jasmine shared photos of the couple smiling, laughing as if the world's chaos didn't exist around them. But behind the smiles, the tension was palpable. Family members who had supported Kirk were divided, questioning if they should encourage reconciliation or back the engagement fully. The private conversations between relatives were intense, voices low but heavy with emotion. Some felt Kirk had overstepped, announcing an engagement before addressing the hurt he had caused, while others argued that people deserve to follow their hearts no matter the consequences. Rasheeda confronted Kirk once more later that morning, outside, away from prying eyes. "Kirk, how do you live with yourself?" she asked, tears streaking her cheeks, voice quivering yet fierce. Kirk took a deep breath, steadying himself. "Rasheeda, it's not easy. Believe me, nothing about this is easy. I didn't plan for it to be like this, but I have to be honest with myself." Rasheeda's eyes narrowed, voice rising. "Honest? Honesty is a conversation, Kirk. Honesty isn't throwing a ring at someone else while I'm still standing here. You've humiliated me." Jasmine, standing a few feet away, finally spoke, her tone calm but firm. "Rasheeda, I never intended for any of this to hurt you. I respect what you and Kirk had, but my feelings are real. We are not replacing you, we're moving forward." Rasheeda laughed bitterly, shaking her head. "Moving forward? You've erased me from his life in an instant, and you expect me to nod along?" The words were sharp, filled with betrayal and pain. Kirk stepped closer, attempting to bridge the gap, but Rasheeda recoiled, frustration boiling over. The drama escalated further as private friends began sharing insider details on social media, some claiming to have proof of months of secret meetings and conversations between Kirk and Jasmine. The family's private turmoil became a public spectacle, every detail dissected, every motive questioned. Emotions ran high as fans speculated on the timeline, on the sincerity of the engagement, and on the real reasons behind Kirk's sudden decision. Some defended Kirk, praising him for following his heart, while others condemned him for the perceived betrayal and lack of sensitivity. Later that afternoon, tensions flared when Rasheeda's brother confronted Kirk in a private discussion. "You think this is love? This is disrespect. You're tearing this family apart." Kirk, his patience thinning but composure intact, replied, "I am not tearing anyone apart. I am being truthful about my feelings. Rasheeda and I shared a history, yes, but this is about moving forward. The words hung in the air, sharp and undeniable, leaving both men simmering with unspoken emotions. As evening approached, Rasheeda retreated to a quiet corner of her home, alone with her thoughts. She reflected on the betrayal, the heartbreak, and the public scrutiny. The emotions ran high, a mix of anger, sadness, and disbelief. Fans online continued to dissect every move, every post, every comment, turning her personal pain into public entertainment. The exposure amplified her emotions, leaving her exhausted, yet determined to stand strong, despite the relentless storm. Meanwhile, Kirk and Jasmine planned their next public appearance, fully aware that their engagement announcement had sent ripples far beyond the family. They rehearsed statements, curated photos, and prepared for interviews, knowing every move would be analyzed, every smile scrutinized. The tension between private grief and public display created an undercurrent of unease, emotions running high as they tried to navigate the delicate balance. That night, the family convened once more to address the escalating situation. Emotions were raw, voices trembling, and accusations flying. Rasheeda demanded clarity, Kirk defended his actions, and Jasmine attempted to mediate, but the atmosphere remained charged with tension. The revelations of secret conversations, the leaked messages, and the engagement announcement had created a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. Each moment, each exchange, heightened the drama, leaving everyone involved emotionally drained yet unwilling to step back. Just when it seemed the night might end in uneasy silence, a new twist emerged. An old friend of Kirk's shared a private recording of a conversation, allegedly capturing Kirk admitting doubts about their relationship months ago. Emotions ran high again, shock and disbelief mingling with anger and betrayal. Fans online seized on the recording, debates intensifying, sympathy and criticism colliding in a digital storm. The family, already fractured, now faced another layer of conflict, leaving everyone wondering how the situation could possibly resolve. The next day dawned heavy with tension, the previous night's revelations still raw and impossible to ignore. Rasheeda had barely slept, tossing and turning as thoughts of Kirk and Jasmine consumed her mind. Her phone buzzed incessantly with notifications, some messages offering support, others digging into the drama, questioning her reactions, or even her worth. Every alert made her flinch, the weight of public scrutiny pressing down on her chest. She decided to step outside for air, needing to escape the constant barrage of opinions, yet even then, the world seemed to follow her. Kirk and Jasmine were busy planning a public announcement to clarify the engagement and quell the swirling rumors. They rehearsed every line, every smile, aware that fans were dissecting every move. Emotions ran high, especially for Kirk, who felt the pull between honoring the past with Rasheeda and embracing the future with Jasmine. Every conversation, every decision was fraught with tension, leaving him drained yet resolute. Jasmine, sensing his inner conflict, tried to remain supportive while navigating her own anxiety over the backlash. Rasheeda, meanwhile, was approached by friends and family who urged caution, telling her to maintain dignity in the storm. "Don't let them dictate your feelings," one friend said softly, holding her hand. "You are more than this drama, Rasheeda. Stand tall." The advice resonated, but it did little to ease the ache of betrayal. Emotions ran high, anger and sadness mingling as she tried to process the rapid chain of events. The sense of being publicly humiliated while grappling with personal heartbreak was suffocating, yet she refused to back down. Later, Kirk attempted a private conversation, hoping to explain himself and mitigate the damage. "Rasheeda, please listen," he said, voice low, eyes searching hers. "This isn't about erasing the past. Our history is real, and it always will be. But my feelings for Jasmine, they are real too." Rasheeda's eyes blazed, her voice trembling with fury. "Real? Real doesn't mean destroying someone's life in front of the world. You could have handled this with respect, Kirk, but instead, you chose spectacle." The words were sharp, slicing through the air, leaving a palpable silence. As if on cue, social media erupted again. Fans analyzed every word, every post, every subtle interaction. Hashtags trended, debates raged, and influencers joined the conversation, taking sides and fueling the drama. Emotions ran high online just as they did in the real world. Every comment, every share became part of a swirling storm, intensifying the pressure on Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine. Even casual acquaintances felt compelled to weigh in, the drama spilling into every corner of their lives. The family gathered once more to discuss the escalating tension. Voices rose, accusations flew, and old wounds were reopened. Rasheeda demanded honesty, Kirk tried to justify his actions, and Jasmine sought to mediate, all while emotions ran high and patience wore thin. Every exchange was punctuated with sharp glances, trembling hands, and the occasional sob, the atmosphere charged with unspoken resentment. The division within the family became more pronounced, some siding with Rasheeda, others with Kirk, and a few trying to remain neutral yet drawn unwillingly into the conflict. Unexpectedly, a new twist emerged. A mutual friend of Kirk and Rasheeda revealed details of a private conversation in which Kirk allegedly expressed doubts about their relationship months ago. The revelation ignited a fresh wave of anger, confusion, and disbelief. Rasheeda's world felt like it was collapsing in layers, each revelation a new layer of betrayal. Kirk's intentions, previously defended by some as honest, were now questioned, with accusations of manipulation and planning. Emotions ran high as the tangled web of relationships, secrets, and missteps became impossible to unravel without confronting every painful detail. That evening, Rasheeda decided to take control of her narrative. She posted a statement on social media, her words measured but filled with raw emotion. She expressed heartbreak, disappointment, and the sense of betrayal, all while maintaining dignity and refusing to vilify Kirk or Jasmine outright. The post went viral, sparking yet another wave of discussion. Fans debated her approach, some praising her strength, others criticizing her restraint. Emotions ran high across the digital landscape, mirroring the turmoil of the personal lives entangled in the saga. Kirk and Jasmine, observing the impact of Rasheeda's post, felt the pressure intensify. They realized that every move, every public appearance, every social media interaction would now be scrutinized under a magnifying glass. Emotions ran high for them too, the joy of engagement tempered by the backlash, the knowledge that the path ahead would be as tumultuous as the events that had brought them there. Every decision, every word, carried weight, forcing them to navigate a minefield of family tension, public scrutiny, and personal guilt. As night fell, the drama showed no signs of slowing. Whispers of past secrets, rumored betrayals, and hidden conversations continued to surface, feeding the fire. Emotions ran high in every corner of the saga, from private homes to public forums, from the family living room to online communities buzzing with speculation. The situation was a powder keg of emotion, waiting for another spark to ignite further chaos, leaving everyone involved, Rasheeda, Kirk, Jasmine, and the extended family, caught in a whirlwind of heartbreak, anger, and uncertainty that seemed far from resolution. The following morning brought no relief. Rasheeda awoke to find her phone flooded with notifications from fans, media outlets, and friends alike. Every alert reminded her of the engagement, the public drama, and the sense of betrayal that still clung to her like a shadow. She tried to ignore it, focusing on her morning routine, but the constant buzz of social media and the steady drip of messages made it impossible to escape. Emotions ran high, the ache in her chest growing heavier with every passing minute. Kirk and Jasmine, meanwhile, had planned a morning appearance on a popular online show to address the public, hoping to quell speculation and defend their choices. They rehearsed lines, each carefully worded, each gesture scrutinized to convey sincerity and love while managing the inevitable backlash. Emotions ran high as they prepared, both acutely aware that fans would read between every word, interpret every glance, and judge every smile. The stakes were immense, and the tension was nearly unbearable. Rasheeda received word of their appearance and debated whether to watch. Curiosity gnawed at her, mixed with a desire to avoid further pain. Ultimately, she decided to tune in, sitting tensely as Kirk and Jasmine appeared on screen, smiling yet clearly aware of the storm their announcement had created. Kirk spoke first, voice steady but eyes betraying the weight of the past days. "We understand this is difficult for many, especially Rasheeda. Our intention was never to hurt anyone. We are simply following our hearts." Jasmine chimed in softly, "Our relationship is real. We care about each other deeply. We hope that over time, everyone can understand our decision." Rasheeda's hands trembled as she watched, emotions running high. The room seemed to shrink around her, the images on the screen a stark reminder of the reality she was facing. Friends texted her support, urging her to stay strong, reminding her that she had endured heartbreak before and emerged resilient. Yet the intensity of the moment, magnified by the public spectacle, made it difficult to find solace. Each word Kirk spoke felt both like a justification and a fresh wound, a paradox she struggled to navigate. Later that day, the family convened once more, this time to attempt some resolution or at least establish boundaries. Emotions ran high, voices shaking as Rasheeda demanded acknowledgement of her pain. Kirk maintained composure, explaining his perspective and expressing regret over the manner in which the announcement had occurred. Jasmine stood beside him, offering support while also acknowledging Rasheeda's heartbreak. Despite the calm exterior, every interaction crackled with tension, the air thick with unspoken grievances and simmering resentment. As discussions continued, rumors from outside the family continued to filter in, amplifying the drama. Online forums debated Kirk's intentions, Jasmine's involvement, and Rasheeda's response, each theory more sensational than the last. Emotions ran high, the digital world mirroring the personal chaos unfolding within the family. Friends and extended relatives weighed in, some urging reconciliation, others advocating for distance and caution. The situation was increasingly complex, with each new revelation threatening to undo any progress made toward understanding. By evening, the drama reached a fever pitch when a previously unknown video surfaced online, allegedly showing a heated conversation between Kirk and a family member months before the engagement. The video, though brief, fueled speculation that the engagement had been planned for longer than publicly known. Emotions ran high as fans dissected the footage, debating its authenticity and the implications for Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine. The family, already strained, found themselves under renewed pressure, forced to respond both privately and publicly to the unfolding storm. Rasheeda, feeling cornered yet determined, decided to take a firm stance. She released a carefully crafted statement addressing the video, acknowledging her hurt while asserting her dignity. Emotions ran high across the spectrum, from sympathy for her position to criticism of her handling of the public fallout. The release sparked another wave of online commentary, further intensifying the already heightened drama. Kirk and Jasmine watched closely, aware that every step they took now carried the weight of scrutiny and judgment. As night settled, the family and the couple grappled with the new reality. Emotions ran high, the complexity of intertwined relationships, public scrutiny, and private grief creating a tension that seemed almost unmanageable. Each character, Rasheeda, Kirk, Jasmine, and the family, faced the consequences of choices made in moments of passion and vulnerability, knowing that the public eye would never forget, never forgive, and never allow the story to fade quietly. The stage was set for further twists, heated confrontations, and revelations that promised to keep the drama alive far beyond the initial engagement announcement. As the days passed, the ripple effects of Kirk's announcement continued to unsettle everyone involved. Rasheeda spent much of her time in reflection, surrounded by friends who offered solace and perspective, yet the emotional wounds ran deep. Each interaction, each message, reminded her of the sudden upheaval in her life. She struggled to reconcile the past she cherished with the reality unfolding before her. Emotions ran high, a mixture of anger, sadness, and disbelief that made even mundane tasks feel heavy. Kirk and Jasmine faced their own challenges. While the engagement was meant to mark a joyful new beginning, the backlash from both family and fans created constant tension. They had to carefully navigate appearances, interviews, and social media interactions, all while managing their personal feelings. Every post, every caption, every smile was analyzed, dissected, and debated. Emotions ran high as they realized that public approval was fleeting and that the personal cost of their decisions was far greater than anticipated. Rasheeda's attempts to move forward were interrupted repeatedly by reminders of the drama. Friends shared leaked photos, videos, and snippets of conversations, each one reigniting the raw intensity of her heartbreak. She confronted Kirk once more, demanding honesty and clarity. "Kirk, I need to know the truth," she said, voice shaking but firm. "Was this engagement sudden, or have you been planning this all along?" Kirk met her gaze, his own eyes betraying a mixture of regret and resolve. "Rasheeda, my feelings for Jasmine developed over time, but I never intended to hurt you in this process. It's complicated, and I know it's painful." Jasmine, trying to mediate, added cautiously, "Rasheeda, I never wanted to replace you or erase the past. We care about each other, but we respect what you and Kirk had. This wasn't meant to humiliate or harm you." Rasheeda's laugh was bitter, eyes flashing with disbelief. "Respect? You call this respect? You announce your engagement while I'm still here, while the world watches. That's not respect, that's spectacle." The tension in the room was thick, every word slicing through the air, every glance charged with unspoken resentment. Meanwhile, fans continued to dissect the situation online. Hashtags trended, debates raged, and countless theories emerged regarding Kirk's intentions, Jasmine's role, and Rasheeda's reactions. Emotions ran high not only among those directly involved but also across the public, who seemed incapable of letting the story fade. Social media became a battleground of opinion, sympathy, and judgment, each post amplifying the stakes for everyone involved. Family members, exhausted by the constant drama, attempted to mediate. Heated discussions were held, attempting to establish boundaries and encourage dialogue. Yet each conversation carried the weight of previous grievances, making reconciliation difficult. Emotions ran high as loyalty, love, and anger collided, creating a volatile environment where even small remarks could ignite explosive reactions. The division within the family became more pronounced, leaving everyone uncertain about who to trust, who to support, and how to proceed without causing further pain. Just when it seemed the situation might stabilize, new revelations emerged. A mutual friend disclosed additional private messages, suggesting that Kirk and Jasmine's relationship had been more complex than initially believed. The disclosure reignited tensions, emotions running high as Rasheeda grappled with the layered betrayals, the public scrutiny, and the sense of losing control over her own narrative. Kirk and Jasmine were forced to respond, balancing honesty with diplomacy, trying to prevent the story from spiraling further out of control. As the night drew in, the emotional intensity showed no signs of waning. Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine were all left to navigate a maze of heartbreak, loyalty, and public judgment. Emotions ran high, each interaction a delicate dance of sincerity, anger, and vulnerability. Family members attempted to mediate while simultaneously dealing with their own divided loyalties. The online world continued to speculate, ensuring that every word, every action, and every emotion remained under scrutiny. The saga had reached a point where resolution seemed distant, and the potential for further twists loomed ever larger. As the days turned into weeks, the tension showed no sign of easing. Rasheeda remained determined to reclaim her voice, carefully navigating her emotions while the world continued to watch. Kirk and Jasmine tried to maintain their relationship in the public eye, every move calculated, every smile scrutinized, yet the weight of backlash lingered. Family gatherings became delicate affairs, conversations measured, and glances loaded with unspoken feelings. Emotions ran high, the air thick with unresolved pain and lingering questions about loyalty, love, and trust. Rumors persisted, fueled by social media and insider leaks, each new piece of information twisting the narrative further. Fans debated endlessly, taking sides, defending Rasheeda's heartbreak, or supporting Kirk and Jasmine's choice to follow their hearts. The saga had grown beyond a single family conflict, it had become a public drama, a story dissected in forums, live streams, and comment threads. The emotional stakes were higher than ever, with each revelation igniting fresh waves of discussion and speculation. In private moments, Rasheeda reflected on her own strength, realizing that her story was far from over. She chose to focus on herself, setting boundaries, and reclaiming agency over her life. Kirk and Jasmine, aware of the scrutiny, doubled down on their commitment to each other, knowing that love and loyalty were being tested at every turn. The family, still divided, slowly began to navigate the delicate balance between support, confrontation, and understanding. Emotions ran high, yet amidst the chaos, a path toward healing and clarity began to emerge. Fans continued to speculate, will Rasheeda forgive, or will she move on completely? How will Kirk and Jasmine weather the storm of public opinion and family tension? One thing is certain, the drama is far from over, and every new day seems to bring another twist, another revelation. This is a saga that has captivated audiences, divided families, and left hearts raw with emotion, and the next chapter promises to be just as compelling. If you want to stay up to date with every shocking twist and emotional moment, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below with your thoughts. Who do you think handled this situation best, Rasheeda, Kirk, or Jasmine? Your opinion could be featured in our next update, so don't hold back. Stay tuned, because in this drama, every day brings new surprises, and you won't want to miss a single moment.